You just said that a wife is the most similar, and the next moment she was reborn from a single dog for 10,000 years to a scumbag. She was a domestic violence man, but she married a popular flower as his wife and gave birth to a lovely daughter for her. But after the end of the love affair with his wife, she was unexpectedly fired by the company, thinking that it was all because she married this sassy star that she lost her career, and you couldn't help but secretly scold a bastard. And when Xia Xiao, who was holding the child, saw that you were staring at herself, she subconsciously hugged Meng Meng into her arms again. Tears filled her eyes. She didn't think about taking Meng Meng away, but she herself was an orphan, and all the money in the family is in the hands of this demon. Seeing the fearful appearance of the two, you take a deep breath, get up to control the dark handle, and then you stand up in a circle, turn on the light, and the warm orange light turns on. Illuminate the whole room, look at everything cluttered in front of you, your speechless prison head, and then first open the window to breathe, and then silently clean up the empty wine bottles in the house. Xia Xiao, still holding Meng Meng and curled up on the sofa without moving. It's just that a hint of difference flashes in her eyes, and instead of disturbing the mother and daughter, you pick up a towel from the kitchen and tidy up the table until you make the house spotless. And you're already sweating, so you take out your clean clothes from the bedroom. Walking into the bathroom, Xia 11 Yao looked at the closed bathroom door, and her originally frozen body finally breathed a sigh of relief. She looked at the room that was cleaned by you in front of her, and her eyes showed the unknowability of agricultural cracks. Mom, I'm hungry. Meng Meng looked at her mother with big round eyes. Meng Meng is good, and my mother will cook for Meng Meng later. She was able to cook for herself and her children, and then the bathroom door opened, you pushed the door out, and the mother and daughter sitting on the dilapidated sofa shrank in at the same time. You shook your head, ignored the two of them, pushed open the door and walked out. Xia 11 Yao was stunned, a little desperate in her eyes. Did she go out to buy wine again? She hadn't drunk enough tonight. She and Meng Meng were going to be hungry again. Xia 11 Yao bit her lip, her eyes turned white, and tears couldn't stop falling. Mom didn't cry. Meng Meng was not hungry. Meng Meng thought it was the reason for her hunger, so she made her mother cry. She was busy with her white and tender little hands, awkwardly wiping Xia Xiao's face. Xia Xiao bit her lip, and her tears fell even harder. After mixing, she rubbed her voice in a trembling voice and said, Meng Meng good. Mom coaxed you to sleep, you won't be hungry after falling asleep. Mom won't get up early tomorrow morning. Can you make a good meal? Mom doesn't cry. Xia 11 Yao hummed a lullaby softly, coaxing Meng Meng to sleep. Watching Meng Meng slowly close her eyes, Xia 11 Yao thought about what had happened in the past 2 years after marriage, and felt all kinds of sadness. She finally decided to leave tomorrow and leave this hell, even if she died outside. It's better than being tortured to death by this demon. Suddenly the door outside rang outside, and Xia 11 Yao, who was still thinking about her thoughts, couldn't help but tremble again. She subconsciously danced Meng Meng's ears, quietly listening to the movement outside. You push open the door. Subconsciously looking at the sofa, the expression couldn't help but be happy. The two of them went back to the bedroom, but they didn't seem to have eaten yet. You looked at the food in your hand and were stunned. After thinking for a while, you put the food on the table and walked towards the bedroom. Xia Xiao kept her body tense. She heard your footsteps and slowly approached the bedroom, praying in her heart that you would not come in. But the next moment Xiao Menqing suddenly remembered. I bought you a meal. If you are hungry, come out to eat. I went to the toilet and slept tonight. And when she heard this, Xia Yao suddenly opened her eyes, and then she heard your footsteps and gradually walked away, and the room suddenly became quiet again. Only the sound of Xia Xiao's nervous breathing echoed in the bedroom. Meng Meng opened her eyes at some point. She clearly heard your voice, and was staring curiously at the closed door. Thinking of the meal, she was hungry again. She swallowed her saliva and looked forward to looking at her mother, and lowered her head in the evening, looking at her daughter's expectant eyes, but still mustered up the courage to quietly walk to the bedroom door and open the door. The aroma of the food on the table also came out. Xia Xiao's eyes moistened suddenly. She actually bought food for her mother and daughter, and in the face of this demon's sudden goodness, Xia Xiao felt not happy, but fear from the heart. Why did she do this? What else did she want from her hands? Meng Meng ran over with her bare feet, selling her short legs, and looked out through the crack in the door, and then her eyes lit up, and her saliva flowed down unconsciously. But she didn't act without permission, but raised her head, looked at her mother with big eyes without blinking, closed her eyes helplessly, took a deep breath, and then pulled out a mother's smile from the corner of her mouth and picked up Meng Meng. Meng Meng good, let's eat quietly. Meng Meng nodded a little bit of her head in a panic. Of course you heard the sound outside in the room and took a deep breath, and after exploring the climate you could think about it again, and you just found out after buying the food. This family now only has more than 1,800 savings left, and you have to pour out money. And after a while you suddenly sit up straight, your eyes light up. Why didn't you turn around for a while? This is a parallel world. You are excited, you reach out to pick up your mobile phone and keep flipping over it. After a while you have a smile on your face. This world is really the same as in your memory, cultural inheritance and entertainment industry. and your own world is completely different, after all, the drooling brother who makes you frown. You hold your phone tightly, thinking quickly in your mind. It was originally a classic song, slowly appearing in your mind. Thinking about it, you gradually can't hold on, you can only drag your tired body. Slowly fell asleep the next morning at 6 o'clock sharp. You gently opened the door and walked out of the bedroom, the dining table and the kitchen, which had been cleaned up. Otherwise it should be Xia Xiao, who cleaned up after eating last night. You stood there and thought for a while, then quietly walked into the bathroom to wash up. You know that Xia Xiao usually gets up at 8 o'clock in the morning to cook, because you used to sleep until after 10 o'clock every time and only after she got up and drank. The two of them can eat the victory she has eaten. You subconsciously took another breath, and then washed up quickly. Xia Xiao in the room was actually awake, but she didn't dare to go out. The washing movement outside disappeared, and the door closed again when she remembered. Xia Xiao was a little curious. Her eyes froze on the bedroom door. She went out again, and after waiting for a long time, there was still no movement outside. I still mustered up the courage to knock on the bed, opened the bedroom door and walked out. The smell of wine in the room has become very thin, and the smell of fresh air blowing in through the window smells very good. This situation makes Xia Xiao feel unreal. She hadn't smelled this fresh smell for a long time. Xia Xiao came to the window, looked at the outside world, and was a little stunned unconsciously, and was stunned in embarrassment for a day. Unexpectedly, Xia Xiao had already woken up, and after you washed up, you found that there were no vegetables at home, so some meat, vegetables and rice you just bought came back, and both of you were stunned, and you could see the appearance of your wife in front of you completely. Very beautiful, much more beautiful than those internet celebrities in the original world, but she is too thin, and her face is even more pale and excessive, which should be the reason why I haven't seen sunshine and malnutrition for a long time. What's so good-looking? A daughter-in-law is so terrifying. It's really in vain. That's early. I went to cook first. Xia Xiao broke the embarrassment first, and quickly walked into the kitchen with the vegetables. Xia Xiao couldn't believe her ears and eyes. She actually said hello to herself. And when did she learn to cook? Xia Xiao silently looked at the busy back in the kitchen. A great sense of grievance sucked into her heart. She bit her lip tightly, and her eyes gradually moistened. What is this? Pity myself. My conscience finds that my mother, Meng Meng, is this waking up? Maybe I can't find my mother. She ran out barefoot, and as soon as she came out, her little nose smelled the aroma of food, and she turned her head to stare at the kitchen with big eyes. You naturally saw this little guy in the kitchen, your little guy with his face and lips smiled, but he didn't want to shrink behind Xia Xiao in fear. You touched your nose helplessly, and after a while, the meal was ready. You look like the two people who are still standing in the distance. Wash up and come over to eat. Meng Meng is obviously already swallowing saliva, but she still doesn't move. Xia Xiao is also looking at the scene in front of her with some horror. You were looking forward to it. But seeing the two of them on guard, the expectation in your heart couldn't help but sink to the bottom of the sea. Sank for a while, and took a breath. You eat first. After saying that, you walked into the toilet room. Xia Xiao didn't move. She watched the toilet door close. He looked down at the expectations in his daughter's eyes again, and his heart also sucked a breath of carbon. Meng Meng, wash your hands and go eat. There is millet porridge you made on the table. The wonderful meal is very tempting, and there are 2 side dishes and a small bowl of steamed eggs. The moment she saw the steamed egg, Meng Meng's eyes lit up all of a sudden. Mom, is this what Dad did for Meng Meng? Xia Xiao was a little speechless for a while. She looked at her daughter's expectant eyes, and finally nodded. Meng Meng's eyes suddenly brightened. She couldn't wait to dig out a spoonful of eggs and put them in her mouth. This is the first time Dad has cooked for her. It's so delicious. Xia Xiao just ate silently. Her heart was very struggling and dazed. Your eyes unconsciously shifted to the closed door of the side nest, and you were sitting at the desk in the side nest, and you were actually very hungry, but you knew that the two outside couldn't sit at the same table as you to eat. You shake your head and shake these out of your head, and finally take out your mobile phone and click on the of this world, habitually opening the hot search list above. Then the next moment your brows furrowed. What kind of garbage is this? When will the temporary bursting of pig's feet and this kind of saliva can also dominate the hot search? You have a plan in your heart. Find a few from the desk. You spread the high paper bottle on the table, and the paper in your hand is faster than the speed on the 6-line book written on the high paper, and you are a songwriter in the original world. Now it's just time and space. This little thing can't be difficult for you at all. Just a short moment. A complete score appears in front of you, and you can't wait to dig out a guitar from the closet. Then sit at the desk with a guitar in your arms, brewing your emotions. The next moment you close your eyes, your fingers gently sweep your emotions, and as the sound of the guitar comes out of the room, Shimo Nishio, who is eating silently, suddenly freezes. He can still play the guitar. How is that possible? That guitar is his own. Haruka Shimonishi knows very well he can't play the guitar, at least not before, but now what's going on? With the sound of the guitar, your singing voice is also slowly heard. Seeing the old age, are you still by my side? Look at those west and far, although the past is slowly drifting away. How many people have loved the shadow you gaze at, but who is willing to bear the ruthless changes of the years? How many favors have come in your life, and there are things to say, but I will only be by your side with you for the rest of my life. Haruka Shimonishi was even more stunned. His eyes were full of disbelief. Even Meng, who was eating happily, was attracted by the singing, stopped the spoon in his hand, looked at the closed door of the side nest, and Meng's big eyes spread on the bed. Tilting his head and looking at the difficulty, Meng knew that this was the voice of his father who was cooking for him for the first time. So gentle, even if Haruka Shimonishi had never heard this song. He could feel the power of this song, such a beautiful melody. It was hard for him to imagine that it was sung from the mouth of a demon. Until the next line of the song remembered, hearing this, Shimo 11 Yao couldn't bear it anymore. His shoulders began to tremble slightly, and tears fell one by one. 2 years, 2 whole years. Every day he was frightened. He hadn't listened to music for 2 years, and he hadn't left the house for 2 years. Every day he faces firewood, rice, oil and salt and manulang, and he slowly turns into a demon, and now he finally musters up the courage to escape. What does it mean when he sings this? What does it mean that he suddenly changed? Haruka Shimonishi was a little devastated, but he hadn't listened to music, he hadn't left home for 2 years, and he faced firewood, rice, oil and salt every day, and he was a man who slowly turned into a demon, and now he finally mustered up the courage. He wanted to escape. What did he mean by singing this? What did he mean by suddenly changing? Haruka Shimonishi was a little broken. He was confused again, the fear of the road ahead, the fear of the transformation of this person now. He was afraid that this was a dream of Sanai. The singing also stopped at this moment. Meng also found her mother's crying. He crawled onto Xia Xiao's lap in a panic, stretched out his little hand and wiped his mother's tears hard. Mom didn't cry. Meng gave you a whoosh. Meng thought that her mother's body hurt again. So he helped 11 Yao wipe away her tears. While raising her little face, she opened 11 Yao's collar and blew it up, under the collar between her fingers. And on 11 Yao's back, there were more than scars. Naturally, you don't know what happened to the mother and daughter outside because of one of their songs, and they are opening at the moment and they click on the record video and you don't show your face in the video, but you are pointing out below your nose and you are holding a guitar. Kiss your throat. This time you obviously become more formal, play the song in its entirety, and sing it again until the end of the song. You record and save and subtract the string noise time from the beginning and end, and finally you extract the audio and add the lyrics. Submitted the copyright on the internet, take everything done, you just edited a title, a song original by you, dedicated to everyone. I hope you can like it, like and support. The video upload is successful. You let out a gentle breath and let out a breath of fresh air. I don't know if these two women have finished eating. They are so hungry. They are really noodles. You rubbing your stomach, you finally can't wait, gently push open the door, reveal a gap, look out like a thief and happen to see Xia Xiao. He was holding Meng out of the dining table. His eyes were red, as if he had just cried. He obviously saw himself, and after being stunned in place for a moment, he quickly returned to the main nest with the child in his arms. Finally you can eat. You look at the table and obviously some of the meals left for you, a little happy. Then you pick up the millet porridge, hang it up with a big mouthful, clear all the food on the table and clean up the evening. You went around the room and looked at the layout of this home, which was a house with 21 halls, only 50 square meters, which was bought by the two of you when you got married. And the things in the house were also worthless at that time. These things seem a little broken for a long time. You shake your head, go back to the sofa and sit down. It's hard to imagine how Haruka Shimonishi and her children lived in this atmosphere for 2 years and didn't go out much. This feeling was like being in prison. You also know that you can't change anything for a while. You can only sit on the small sofa and fiddle with your mobile phone, querying how to maintain a home, how to coax a child to be happy, how to be a good father, and the answers on the internet are varied. Looking at your head, the door of the main nest was suddenly opened again, and you followed the sound and saw a small head from there. Meng tilted her head, staring at the same trusting eyes as his mother, disturbing herself curiously. In these shining eyes, cute and clear, make your heart melt, but the cute little face is too thin, just like his mother. If it is a little more round, it will definitely look better, and before, the mother and daughter could only eat leftovers a day. And the little guy can't eat the food mixed with wine, and the original owner doesn't give the two women money. They can only eat a full meal. You see Meng's face, subconsciously want to smile, but the corners of your mouth haven't been opened yet. I saw that Meng's alliance closed the door again, and ran back, and I also remembered Xia Xiao's crisp voice in the room. She was coaxing the child. A smile would be on her face. You touched your nose innocently, and time passed quietly. Until noon, you put down your phone and stood up. It was time to make lunch, and at this moment, the bedroom door was opened, and the expressionless Xia Xiao walked out of the bedroom holding a pile of clothes. as if she hadn't seen the mud standing in front of the sofa. You were not allowed to go to the bathroom. You obviously saw her body stiffen when she came out. Is she going to do laundry? You suddenly remembered that the clothes you woke up yesterday were still not taken out in the washing machine. Thinking of this, you also walked quickly towards the bathroom. Xia Xiao was very nervous. She didn't expect you to be at home. Usually at this time you went out to drink with your fox friends early. She heard your footsteps, and then approached herself. Suddenly her heart became more nervous, her body moved slightly. That one, my clothes are still in the washing machine. Can you let me take it out to dry first? Your familiar voice came from behind Xia Xiao, who was bending over to open the washing machine door, was startled. The body is even more unveiled. Shrinking into the bathroom, be careful, you can't help but say another sentence. Xia Xiao then reacted. She was asking for her own opinion. Her eyes dodged and didn't dare to look. You take it first. Thank you for clenching your fists, your hands trembling a little. And your eyes were even more embarrassed, angry and distressed. You just clearly saw the purple-red bloodstains under Xia Xiao's neck. And you were packing up the clothes in the washing machine. I didn't continue to look at her. I made lunch for a while. I remember to call Meng Meng out to eat. Meng Meng fell asleep. And I will call her to get up later. Xia Xiao shrank in again. The whole person looked chaotic. You know that being here will only put pressure on her. Reluctantly, he touched his nose, picked up the clothes in the washing machine, and quickly came to the balcony to hang them up, and then walked into the kitchen. She just came back to her senses. She trembled and put her clothes into the washing machine, but her eyes unconsciously provoked the kitchen. What the hell is wrong with her? Xia Xiao subconsciously touched her nose, and then suddenly stunned. When did she have this habit? Xia Xiao stayed in front of the washing machine like this, listening to the sound of the drum turning. Her heart was complicated, until all the clothes were washed. She took out her clothes and walked to the balcony to start drying. The man was always in the kitchen, busy in full swing. Meng Meng didn't wait for Xia Xiao to call her. She woke up by herself. Still barefoot duck pushed open the door. Two little hands were still rubbing, sleepy-eyed, cute big eyes. The next moment she saw the busy lady in the kitchen. A pair of beautiful big eyes lit up obviously, and then she lay curiously by the kitchen door. Mine. Looking at your back, Xia Xiao's bright clothes turned around, and saw this scene. The little cute face was full of anticipation. You are busy in the kitchen. Xia Xiao's spirit suddenly collapsed a little, after bringing the food to the table. Then she hurriedly walked out of the house, heard the sound of the door. Xia Xiao wiped the tears on her face indiscriminately, bit her lip, stood up, hugged Meng Meng and came to the dining table. No one knew how complicated her mood was now. Even she didn't know what she was thinking. The food was still as delicious as breakfast. The little guy had already eaten the cake, but the peaceful lunch of the two was quickly broken by the sound of the door opening, and they subconsciously raised their heads. I saw you carrying a big bag of things. Pushed open the door and walked in. Meng Meng's body leaned towards Xia Xiao, digging a small spoon of steamed eggs in his hand and putting it in his mouth. His big eyes turned with your movements, and your eyelids lowered your face. I didn't dare to look at the frightened mother and daughter. I just walked to the sofa, put down the bag in my hand, and spoke. The voice was a little muffled. I bought you some medicine knives, you remember to use them, and I bought a toy for the child. I don't know if she likes it or not, I think other little girls have it. She should have it too. Xia Xiao didn't respond. You were silent for a while after you finished speaking. I know you won't believe me, but there are some things I still have to say. I won't drink anymore in the future. I won't beat you anymore. You and Meng Meng are usually at home. Don't be so afraid. The child is still young. This atmosphere at home is not good for her. You finished speaking in one breath. You only felt that the depression in your heart was a lot more comfortable. And you didn't wait for Xia Xiao to respond. Silently walked back to the side of me. Xia Xiao watched your figure disappear, seeing that the door was closed. He didn't know what to say even more in just one day. In the face of this man's sudden change, he was always unable to let go of his heart. You in the bedroom are in a worse mood at this time. Your eyes are red. Obviously you have protected it when you are outside. If you can, you would rather not cross over, not knowing everything that happened here, especially when you see Xia Xiao. When you have scars on your body, your depressed heart becomes even heavier. And after just one day in this house, your heart is so depressed that it is almost collapsed. And it is really difficult for you to understand why anyone can have such a big stomach for their relatives. Xia Xiao ate and still left some for you. He looked at the bag on the table and thought for a while, and finally led the cute prince, and I walked. You heard the door closing in the bedroom next to you, and you knew that it was the couple who had finished eating. Then you got up and walked out of the room, and then you saw that the bag on the tea hit was still not opened, and it stayed quietly in place. Twisted the mouth of the famous person, sighed, and didn't know what to do, so I could only sit down at the door to eat. Meng Meng poked out a little head again, staring curiously at herself who was eating. You tried again, opened your face and smiled at him. This time it finally got your wish. The little guy was not scared away, and he was still curious to light up his eating self. You relaxed slightly in your heart, a depressed heart. Meng Meng was also healed a lot by this weak little cute baby. You put down the chopsticks in your hand, and in the most gentle voice of your life you shouted to Meng Meng, your sudden opening. The little guy's body trembled slightly, but he still didn't retract, but turned his head to look at the master's grip. and then looked at you again as if he had received some encouragement. An intelligent and weak voice from his mouth. Dad, hearing this voice, you were all over your body, your eyes instantly moistened. This is the most beautiful melody you have heard since you crossed over. Meng Meng tilted her little head, looked at this crying and laughing father in confusion. As if wondering why someone can still laugh and shed tears, you endure it softly, respond to the little one, and then you stand up, come to the sofa, take out the sheep baby you just bought and hold it in your hand. He looked at the doll in your hand, then turned his head to look into the main grip, and after a long time he walked towards you and sniffed hard. Then he showed a happy smile. Daddy didn't stink anymore. Meng Meng looked at the doll in Dad's hand. You were rushed, gentle and serious, and said to Meng Meng. Meng Meng moved her hands, as if she wanted to get from your hands. Take this doll over, but she still didn't muster up the courage to stretch out her hand. Just look at you tightly with a pair of big black and shiny eyes. Your eyes have been on Meng Meng, and naturally saw her movement, so you slowly squatted down until she was on par with Meng Meng, and gently put the toy in Meng Meng's hand. Meng Meng finally took her favorite toy. Her eyes moved from you to the doll, and her little hand only touched the doll's soft long skirt. The eyes are immediately completed crescent. You look at the little guy in front of you. The heart-shaped shape of holding a toy, the fearlessness in your heart, especially up close, seeing the little face of the cute sails, and this one on her body has been washed white. When the clothes are obviously much smaller, your heart instantly seems to be really punctured. She is only 3 years old. She should have been held in the palm of her hand, but now she is so happy because of a small toy. You grit your teeth, quickly wiped her eyes, squeezed out a smile, and just looked at Meng Meng quietly, playing beside her. At this moment, there was no other Xia 11 kiln in the main nest, and she was even more nervous at this time. She didn't know that doing this was a mistake. But she agrees with what you said before. The child is still young. She shouldn't grow up in this atmosphere. Let the child get close to you is the maximum she can do now. The cute outside laughs from time to time. She sat quietly on the bed, silently wiping her tears, and it didn't take long for Meng Meng to be sleepy. She hugged the doll tightly, and looked at her father who was still smiling at her. The look on the little face was entangled for a moment, then turned around and ran back to the bedroom. You just watched the little guy's figure disappear, touched his nose and smiled silently. It seems that you have to give it to this little guy. Buy a suitable pair of shoes. It's not a good habit to always be barefoot and duck, and what you don't know is that you have just finished a day's work. She frowned and looked at the source with a serious expression, the technician who pushed the door in. Xiao Li took the tablet in his hand, looked at the boss in front of him, who was usually vigorous and resolute, and wiped the cold on his forehead. Director Yang, I have a special situation report. Just now, there was a video on the platform. It only took 2 hours to be on the hot search list, and now it is in the 5th hot search. Yang Chenglin is still concerned. She still frowned, waved her hand to take Xiao Li Delay's tablet. What is pan? It's not the first time this has happened. Let's talk about which big internet celebrity has overturned. Not a big internet celebrity. It's a new account that just registered today, and this video has not been pushed by us, and the video content is just a song. Xiao Li said cautiously, while observing Director Yang's face. She knew that Director Yang hated it when others disturbed her during breaks, and she was also betting on the value of this video. Hearing Xiao Li's words, Yang Qinglin's face really became surprised. The new number of a song can be pushed to the 5th place on the hot search list. As she spoke, she did the office again, clicked on the hot search, and then the surprise in her eyes became stronger. It's like a hot search list. I want to see what kind of song this is. After a song, Yang Chenglin was silent. This is the first time she has heard such a beautiful song on this. Yang Chenglin clicked on the creator's homepage. After reading her name, Sinyu, a very nice name. Xiao Li, you did a good job. Give me help this video to stay so that more people can brush it. Make sure that tomorrow this video is in the hot search list. Xiao Li nodded vigorously. She knew that she had made the right bet, and after Xiao Li left, Yang Chenglin listened to this song in its entirety again. And it was still so good. She gently tapped her fingers on the table a few times, as if she was thinking about something. After a while, she picked up her mobile phone to edit a private message, and sent it. You got up at 5 o'clock and didn't know that her song had become popular after washing up in a hurry. She walked out of the house and carried out today's infatuation. The sentence body is more than you imagine. It's even worse. After a while, you just run like this kind of asthma, just run and stop. After an hour, you finally run 5 kilometers. And this is when you make a good exercise plan for yourself and get home. The time has come to 7 o'clock in the morning, and as soon as you open the door, you are right with Xia 11 Kiln, who came out of the bathroom to wash up. The expression was a little panicked. I didn't know you were out. I'll cook now. You were stunned for a moment, a little embarrassed in the face of the situation, but still answered quickly. Meng Meng was still sleeping. Xia Xiao, the famous mouth, bowed her head and said a favor. Her heart beats faster, and after exercise, the sunny breath on your body makes her very uncomfortable. She is used to seeing your decadent appearance, and suddenly you are so sunny, you make her feel very flustered. She subconsciously avoids you, and she is about to go to the kitchen. You go and look at Meng Meng. After I take a shower, I'll cook. Do you have any dishes you want to eat? Your slightly flattering voice sounded from behind, and the feet of the kiln did not hide in the evening, and after mixing, there was a soft sound of the meal, and then it sounded from her mouth. No, you can do whatever you want, I'll go see the child, and after saying that, the kiln's feet didn't speed up, and he ran into the bedroom like an escape. You looked at the closed bedroom door, and reluctantly sent Song Jian after taking a shower. You felt so hungry that you panicked. And the original wine has also attacked. You are very uncomfortable, saliva has been secreted in your mouth, you can only sit and eat while crazy. Drinking hot water to relieve. Meng Meng also got up at this time, after washing her in the kiln in the evening. She picked up the kitchen door frame and watched you cook. Still holding the sheep baby you gave her yesterday, you turned around and saw this little guy, and opened her mouth to show a silver-boned smile to Meng Meng. What does Meng Meng want to eat this morning? Dad will do it for you. The two variables on Meng Meng's head shook slightly, tilted her little head and thought seriously for a long time, and then closed her big eyes. Steamed eggs. Meng Meng loves to eat steamed eggs. Okay. Then steamed eggs, you replied spoiledly. Stretched out his hand to think of the soft and cute little brain and quietly shrank back, afraid of falling into the little angel in front of him, and then came to his small bedroom. Let the mother and daughter eat first, but it's better than ever. When the two of them are eating outside, there is obviously more laughter, and you are lying on the bed in the side grip, and you pick up the phone that is set to mute by yourself, wanting to see the effect of the video. As soon as you unlock your phone, you are shocked. How many notifications is this? You swallow your saliva and click on your big fart to open your homepage. The number of more than 1 million followers on the page almost lit up your eyes. With an excited heart, you continue to click on the video. More than 2 million likes, nearly 1 million comments, and you can't help but smile on your face. It's all a voice of praise, and more people are still calling for more good songs like this. And the next is the moment to witness the benefits. You click on the background wallet, just like the income that connects your eyes, and your mouth opens without any advertisements. In just one day, the revenue generated by this video only from traffic reached a terrifying 320,000, or the income after paying taxes. You finally breathe a sigh of relief. You have money, and you finally don't have to live so tightly. When you held all the plus more than 1,000 yuan, you were careful even to buy vegetables, and after transferring the proceeds to the bank card, you waited until the two of you finished eating outside and the door was raised and lowered, and then quickly pushed the door open and went out for breakfast. After eating all the food on the table and brushing the evening express, you pick up your mobile phone and hurriedly leave the house. The community you live in now is located in the old town of Jiangcheng, and this community is now considered old, which is why you bought a house here. All because it was cheap here. He and Xia Xiao didn't work long before they got married, and they didn't have much money in their hands. As soon as you enter the shopping mall in your memory, you will see a domestic brand mobile phone franchise store named Moway, probably because most people are at work now, and there are not many customers in the store. A young female clerk was bored at the counter and was drawing nail polish, and when she saw you come in, her eyes lit up obviously, and she was about to win up. Do you want to buy a mobile phone? Well, you nodded stiffly and looked around the counter. Then I chose a sky blue mobile phone. The female clerk hurriedly picked up the mobile phone you chose. The smile on her face was even more handsome. The good eyes of the handsome guy. The one you chose is the latest product in our store, not only far ahead. And this mobile phone has a 100-fold change of communication, or the world's first mobile phone that supports satellite calls. You nodded, thought for a while, and said, there are mobile phone cards for sale here. Of course, the handsome guy uses it himself. If you use it here to get a card, it's not that I want to get a card, it's to get a card for my wife. The female clerk earned a little and looked at you again, feeling a little disappointed inexplicably. Hey, why did such a young guy sell into the grave of marriage so early? Sure enough, good men are from other families. Thousands of yuan of mobile phones without blinking. My wife bought it. The female clerk thought so. But there was no ambiguity in her mouth and continued, the handsome guy's wife is really a good couple. I think your wife will definitely like this mobile phone. But if you want to get a mobile phone card, you still need your wife to bring her ID card to do it herself. Okay. Then please help me install this mobile phone. You held your head. I didn't expect this world to buy a mobile phone card. You also need to certify your blindness. You can only let the clerk wrap up the mobile phone first, and after a while, the mobile phone is wrapped, and after you scan the code to pay, you hurriedly leave the mobile phone store, and there are still many things to buy, which has wasted a lot of time. After you left the house, Xia 11 Kiln cleaned up the house up and down, sat on the sofa and looked at the sky outside the window, and after 2 days of ventilation, the house had long been free of alcohol, and fresh air blew in from time to time along the window. Let him feel comfortable. This was Xia Xiao's unthinkable thing before. Looking at the cute who was having a good time, the corners of Xia Xiao's mouth unconsciously raised a little confused. This kind of day is so good. The sound of the door lock turning suddenly came. Woke up Xia Xiao from his contemplation. Meng Meng also got up quickly, hugged the sheep king, and got into Xia Xiao's arms, and there was chow noise outside, and your familiar voice also remembered. Slow down, don't hang up. He quickly picked up Meng Meng and wanted to go back to the bedroom, but he couldn't help but look out the door curiously, and the figure of you and a strange man appeared first in his field of vision. They were carrying a cream cloud-style sofa into the room, and then they saw Xia 11 Yao's eyes were obviously the same, with a cheerful joy on their faces. Can you help me pour a few cups of hot water for that trouble? Okay, I'll go to Xia Xiao, who hasn't had contact with outsiders for a long time. Xia 11 Kiln was a little overwhelmed, but he also reacted quickly, holding Meng Meng and walking quickly into the kitchen. The smile on your face is even more cute, although you are now sweating profusely. But it was still clean. You and the masters moved the purchased new sofa into the house, and then moved the original uncle's sofa out, and then the TV and refrigerator green matter after the new furniture entered the house. The appearance changed in an instant. The original uncle's appearance was suddenly renovated, and it re-exuded a thin look of vitality. The eliminated uncle's furniture was finally sold by you at a price of 800 yuan, and Xia 11 Kiln was a little painful. Although those furniture are a little older, they are all good. 800 is really too much of a loss. But he is more curious now. Where did you get so much money? According to the calculation in his heart, the family should be almost unable to pick up the pot now. Sending the masters away, you returned to the living room again with a big bag, and you were satisfied with the success of your labor, and the originally small living room suddenly became full. Do you have the taste of home? Put the bag in her hand on the new coffee table, and the two women in the kitchen were still standing there stupidly. At this time Meng Meng had been put down by Xia Xiao, and she hugged her mother's thighs like a curious baby. Zhuo Cho Cho looked at it again, obviously exploring these new things at home. Seeing the little guy like this, you have a smile on your face, your eyes are fascinated into a slit, and suddenly you feel a sense of accomplishment. You are from the big bag on the coffee table. A big pink toy burst out and was placed on the coffee table, but her eyes kept looking at Meng Meng, and sure enough, after seeing the toy, Meng Meng's eyes were suddenly attracted, staring at the toy and then taking a step away. One of her little hands was still holding on to the sheep baby. The other little hand grabbed the clothes board of Xia 11 Kiln. The head was slightly forward, wanting to see clearly what kind of toy you were trying in your hand. You stretched out your hand like a cute and made a move, and looked at Meng Meng. To Meng Meng, come over and see what Dad bought for you. Meng Meng didn't run over immediately. She first raised her small face and looked at her mother. And when she saw 11 Yao's lips moving, she didn't speak. And then she walked over step by step. You have already unpacked the toy at this time, revealing the true face inside. Is it the princess who is okay? The princess is unreasonable and messy. Does Meng Meng want to decorate her home for the little princess with her father? Meng Meng heard your words. A pair of bright eyes were obviously full of desire in her eyes. Her small body leaned in front of the sofa again. All the way to your leg, you are a gentle smile. Pick up the little princess in the princess's house, and shake it in front of Meng Meng's eyes. And the cry is angry to the little princess is not dressed up yet. Dad will not. Meng Meng help Dad put the little princess dressed up beautifully. Okay, you said as you handed the little princess to Meng Meng. Meng Meng blinked her big eyes, looked at her eyes, and then tentatively raised her little hand slowly until she touched the little princess in your hand. You have been keeping it small. Put the little princess into Meng Meng's hand. Try to hold the cute little hand with your big hand until the soft little hand is held in the palm of your hand. Your pure feet are slightly raised. You pick up the little princess's pink dress again, holding Meng Meng's little hand in one hand, handing over the small skirt with the other. Gently remembering again, dress the little princess. Please give Meng Meng to teach Dad. Dad's hands are so warm, warmer than Mom's. Meng Meng looked at the little princess in front of her, and then looked at you who had wronged your father and suddenly smiled. Dad is so stupid. Meng Meng came to teach Dad. The little guy's smiling white teeth were exposed. He was already leaning on your thigh, and as a result, the little skirt you handed over. The action is stupid to the little princess to set the set. You also laughed, humbly accepted the little guy's teaching, learned how to dress the little princess. At this moment, the small room suddenly understood. The Xia 11 Kiln on the side is already on the door, mine, quietly looking at the beautiful fireflies in front of you. The eyes are moist. The two women are not finished for long. Meng Meng is still decorating the princess under your guidance. And you look up and see Xia 11 Kiln in a daze on the kitchen door, mine. His washed white light blue shirt, this one is extremely dazzling. You can't stop squinting your eyes. You suddenly remember in a trance that this is a parent-child outfit. It was Meng Meng's second birthday. Xia Xiao secretly bought it behind his back. Later, when the original owner found out, Xia Xiao was beaten, and the mobile phone was also sold by the original owner. Thinking of this incident, you were silent, and the next second you stood up and ran to the bathroom with 5 mouths and began to vomit wildly. You now know what kind of disgusting and angry a person with a conscience can feel when he looks back on this behavior from the first perspective, and this sudden change frightens the women outside, and the summer kiln scares more than one. Quickly walked to the sofa and hugged Meng Meng into his arms. Meng Meng drilled hard into Xia Xiao's arms, for fear that the sudden father would suddenly usurp out and accept herself and her mother as before. In the past, every time my father made this kind of movement, he would be like a tiger instructing people, which made people scared, and after the reward, you walked out of the bathroom in embarrassment. Your eyes were bloodshot and red, looking at the frightened Xia Xiao and Meng Meng. Your heart is even more uncomfortable, and your stomach can't stop turning over, but you still endure the discomfort and speak to their weak mouth. I'm sorry for scaring you. I'm just a little uncomfortable when I think of myself occupying her body now. Your whole body is like tens of millions of ants crawling on your body. Looking at Xia 11 Yao and Meng Meng still looking at yourself warily, you take a deep breath, bypass Xia 11 Kiln holding the child, silently walk into the kitchen, Pick up the dishes and wash them. Meng Meng may not be done yet, you can take her to play for a while, I'll make lunch. Xia Xiao took a closer look at your side face. The side face is so familiar and so unfamiliar, and finally she nodded. Meng Meng did what you did before. Meng Meng secretly poked her little head out of her mother's arms, and after finding out that her father was still the gentle father, her little face finally smiled again until lunch was ready, and the fragrance of the meal wafted in the living room. Xia Xiao saw you serving the food to the table, and silently returned to the side kiln. The corners of her mouth moved slightly. She couldn't say a word. While eating, Meng Meng held a small spoon in her mouth, and suddenly turned her head to look at her mother. Xiao frowned with a puzzled expression on her face. Mom, why didn't Dad eat with us? Xia Xiao was chewing a piece of fried pork in small bites. This is her favorite dish whether before or after marriage. She rarely eats because you can't eat spicy food. Hearing her daughter's question, Xia Xiao unconsciously turned her head to look in the direction of the side nest, and then turned back to look at her daughter with a puzzled face. She suddenly smiled. This smile was like a spring flower blooming. Beautiful things can't be put away. That's because Mom and Dad aren't ready yet. The little guy didn't understand. The little brows furrowed even more. Her little head didn't understand her mother's words at all. And you were in a daze in the bedroom, knowing that you suddenly vomited because of a psychological problem, but you can't change anything. In fact, you kept comforting yourself in your previous life. It's not your fault, but you still can't change it. She is you. You have no choice but to take out your mobile phone. Flipping to divert your attention. My video is still on the hot search list. Many of the comments below are urging you to release a new song. This is the movement of washing dishes outside. You put down your mobile phone, pushed open the bedroom door, and walked out. There are still meals left for you at the table. Xia Xiao is washing the evening fast in the kitchen, and Meng Meng runs to the sofa again, fiddling with her new toy. Seeing her father come out, Meng Meng is not as scared as before. You smiled, stepped forward and gently touched her little head, turned her head to look in the direction of the kitchen. Xia Xiao just came out of the kitchen. She saw that you were staring at herself. She couldn't help but feel nervous in her heart, and she didn't know where to put her hands. I could only helplessly pinch the hem of my clothes. Seeing Xia Xiao's eyebrows so low and pleasing to the eye, you didn't curse your eyebrows and sighed silently in your heart, just because of her gentle inner temperament. The demon in the past sometimes bullied her so innocently. Thinking of this, your slightly frowning brows were loosened, and Xia 11 Kiln was bowing his head. After hearing your words again, she raised her head to look at you. She first met your clean and green eyes, and then saw the new mobile phone box on the table. Slowly walk to the sofa and sit down. Is there anything to hurt? The voice is very soft. You can only open your ears to hear clearly. You didn't answer, but picked up the mobile phone on the table and the self-solid dismantling table. The Azure new mobile phone was taken out by you. You set it up briefly, handed it to Xia Xiao. This mobile phone is for you. You need to handle the mobile phone card yourself. I have saved my number in it. If I am not at home in the future, you can call me if there is anything, you said as you took it out of your pocket. Take out a lot of money and put it in front of her. This is the cash I just married. Do you have nothing to do in the afternoon? Take the children out for a walk. It's not good to stay at home all the time. Buy something you want to buy, especially clothes. I think both of you have a lot smaller clothes. There is also a bank card. In this cash is not safe and inconvenient. You shredded and said everything in your heart in one breath. Xia 11 Yao raised his head, stared at the man in front of him, and listened to his bits and pieces. The eyes slowly turned red. You saw that Xia 11 Yao hadn't taken the mobile phone for a long time, and touched his nose helplessly. Do you not like this mobile phone? I look at the color is very good, and I bought it with the latest model. If you don't like it, you can go and buy another one you like. Xia 11 Yao 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 2 took a deep look at you again. No, I like it quite a lot, thank you. His voice was still very soft, a little gung-yi, and the Meng Meng on the side also put down the toy in his hand at this time. The little head leaned over and looked curiously at the new mobile phone in his mother's hand, and the kiln raised his hand to touch the little guy's head. I want to take a hot bath, but these two stayed in the living room for a while today, which made you feel very embarrassed to take a shower at this time, so you could only go back to the toilet a little depressed, and at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, the sky outside was finally not so hot. Xia Xiao sat on the sofa for a while, still picked up the money on the table and led Meng Meng out of the house. Meng Meng hadn't gone out for a long time. He liked to go out to play, but his mother never took him out before. Dad didn't allow them to go out, so he looked extremely happy when he went out this time. The little guy held the sheep doll in one hand and held his mother in the other, bouncing all the way, and a pair of big round eyes were looking everywhere. Everything outside was full of freshness for him, but Xia 11 Yao was a little sniped. His walking pace unconsciously accelerated. Looking at the pedestrians coming and going on the road, he inexplicably felt a little inferior, especially the clothes that did not fit him and Meng Meng. The mall is not far away. He remembers that he crossed 2 streets and arrived. This place has changed a lot from the mall in his memory, and it seems to be more exquisitely decorated in just 2 years. As soon as he entered the door, he saw a mobile phone store which had a cabinet with half a mobile phone card. Xia Xiao hesitated for a moment and led the child in. There were a lot of people in the store, and the clerks looked dazed, and Xia Xiao, who had not communicated with people for a long time, stood at the bottom of the original in a daze. Fortunately, a female clerk found her, and Meng Meng took the initiative to step forward, touched Meng Meng's head first, and then said with a smile on her face, "The little guy is so good. Is the beauty going to buy a mobile phone? Did you hear someone praise Meng?" Xia 11 Yao's face also smiled. She kilned the kiln head. "No, I have a mobile phone. I want to get a mobile phone card. Can I do it now?" The female clerk still had a smile on her face, and guided Xia 11 Kiln to the counter while talking. "Yes, from here we have several packages for you to choose from, but can you ask what brand of mobile phone you have? If it is a mobile phone of our store, there is a discount for applying for a mobile phone card." And when you hear the discount, Xia Kiln's eyes lit up. She quickly took out her mobile phone from her pocket and handed it to the female clerk, and asked if this is okay. "It seems to be your brand, and it was just bought in the morning. The latest mobile phone sold today is gone." And the female clerk naturally thought of the morning. It turns out that this mother and daughter are the wife and child of the handsome guy in the morning, but they are so familiar with each other. And the clothes are obviously out of place. Doesn't that handsome guy look like a bad person to his wife and daughter? The female clerk couldn't figure it out, but she didn't ask much. She still had a smile on her face and exclaimed, "It turned out that the handsome guy who came to buy a mobile phone in the morning. Is it your husband? You are so happy. Is this our latest mobile phone? Here with this mobile phone, you can apply for this package, recharge 100, get 100 free, 600 minutes of free call market." It's still a warm service, but this time the service object has changed from you to Xia 11 Kiln. Xia 11 Yao was said to have paid money in the dizziness, successfully applied for a card, and walked out of the mobile phone store. And the enthusiastic voice of the female clerk echoed in her head. It's terrifying, but she actually said that you are a good man. Xia Xiao really wanted to tell her, "Such a good man, why don't you take it home?" After buying a mobile phone card, Xia Xiao got another bank card and deposited all the money in his hand. Excluding the money for the mobile phone card, there are still 4,900 left, and what you gave her this time is a full 5,000. Walking out of the bank with a mobile phone and bank card, Xia Xiao looked at the surrounding high-rise buildings and suddenly felt alive. Now she can leave with her children. She can rely on the money in her hand to find a job to support herself and her children, and even pursue her dreams again. Until an intelligent unity sounded in her ears, "Mom, can Meng Meng eat an ice cream?" She turned around in an instant, and Meng Meng beside her was still holding her hand. Her round eyes were straight, and the ice was not far away. Saliva was about to flow from the corner of her mouth. Xia Xiao smiled. The smile was so bright and bright. "Yes, but only allowed to eat a hook, otherwise Xiao Dudu would hurt." Meng Meng loves her mother the most, and the two finally went out. "You washed your beauty early, and you didn't know that the summer kiln outside might not marry back. And after washing too early, you began to prepare today's dinner. You are afraid that the noodles will not taste good, so you don't make it now. Bring the dishes to the table, cut the noodles and put them on the chopping board. You go back to the living room and fall on the sofa. Pick up your mobile phone and brush up your jean. What should I do if the child doesn't eat? It's okay to beat her, but it's not okay. Slip and slide, cute and so well-behaved. How can you not eat? And besides, such a cute little guy, you are reluctant to touch a finger of her until you are a little sleepy. When you brush, you hit a shallow shot." Looking at the time in the upper right corner, it's 7 o'clock in the evening. Why haven't these women come back yet? You suddenly sat up straight. "No, nothing will happen to these women. You are a little nervous." Wang Zhan got up and put on his shoes. "I was about to go out to look for their mother, but when she opened the door, she happened to run into them who were coming back from outside, and a wave of confrontation blew in from the door, and you were completely stunned. The steps are relaxed, the corners of her mouth are raised, indicating that she is in a good mood now. She is holding a few hand straps in her hand. Meng Meng is holding her clothes in one hand, and the clothes she is holding in the other hand are the sheep dolls she gave her. The reason why you are stunned the most is that the two of them have changed into new clothes that fit well, and two pairs of smart and cute sex human eyes are obviously stunned for a moment when they see you, and the next moment Meng Meng leaned up sweetly and called Dad. Obviously Meng Meng, who went out to play today and changed into new clothes, was in a very happy mood, and Dad almost made your soul fly, and you even stiffened your voice with a shovel sound, and then squatted down and rubbed Meng Meng's hair. Hugged the cute little guy and took the lead in walking into the house. "Dad made noodles for you today. Can you add 2 eggs? Meng Meng likes to eat eggs. Meng Meng likes Dad the most." Xia Xiao outside the door is messy in the wind. The little guy just said that he loves his mother the most, and in the blink of an eye he rebelled. Meng Meng didn't wait long. The noodles with eggs were quickly ready. You brought the noodles to her, scratched her little nose, and then habitually turned around and held it in a way that couldn't go. You just turned around, but you didn't want to be suddenly dragged by the little guy by the legs of your clothes. "Dad, can you eat with Meng Meng?" The weak voice sounded again. You turned around and met Meng Meng's expectant gaze. "If you want to kill or scrape it off." It's a few meanings not to speak like this. You can only try to test it. "Then I'll stay and eat with Meng Meng." "Dad does. Be by Meng Meng's side." Answer you. Meng Meng is happy. Pat the chair on the other side. You touch your nose. With an unnatural expression, he brought another bowl of noodles from the kitchen and sat next to Meng Meng. His mother sat on his left hand, and his father sat on his right. Even the meal worked extra hard, directly ate a bowl full of noodles, and finally went to the West Kiln for fear of the little guy, and he was not allowed to eat again after eating. In the end, you were the only one who played with Meng Meng, and after dinner in the West Kiln, you returned to the cooking house alone. You must have done a great psychological struggle in the lower West Kiln, and you brought yourself into the position of the lower West Kiln, and thought about it. If you were suffering, you would definitely not be able to get along with your enemies. No, if it's yourself, then you must be now. You can't even find the body. You directly chopped up your appetite, and played with Meng Meng until 9 o'clock in the evening. Meng Meng was so sleepy that he clicked on this little head from time to time, but he still didn't want to go to sleep. During this period, you also found a very serious problem. That is, Meng Meng is now 3 years old, but the little one will not take off his shoes by himself until now. You must know that normal 3-year-old children have reached the age of kindergarten, and you know that this is before. The unsound family environment makes it impossible to rush for a while, but you still feel extremely at this time. Xia Xiao walked out of the bedroom. She didn't speak, just silently stared at the meaning of you and Meng Meng's eyes on the sofa. It's clear and clear, you can see it. Pick up Meng Meng from the sofa, kiss her little face and smile with her eyes. Meng Meng, it's time to go to bed. Can Dad play with you tomorrow? Meng Meng's eyes, which were about to be confused, opened slightly. She looked at your face, then turned her head to look at Xia Xiao, and then her little head suddenly buried in the stiffness of her father's neck. Meng Meng wanted to sleep with her father tonight, and the sudden words made you a little overwhelmed, and also made Xia Xiao's face slightly darken. I'm most afraid that the air will suddenly be quiet. You look at Xia Xiao with an innocent face. This is the little guy's own idea. It's really not that you wear too much. Xia Xiao secretly clenched her fists. This little white-eyed wolf, the princess has taken care of her for so long. It was only 2 days ago, and it was corroded by the enemy's mantis shells. And in the end, the little guy succeeded. Xia Xiao simply washed her, and the little guy got into her father's bed every time, and she was cute like a tree with a bear. Holding your neck and not letting go, you also think that she is holding yourself like this. This is the first time you have coaxed yourself to sleep, and I remembered the amazing parenting on the internet, so I gently told Meng Meng the bedtime story a long, long time ago. There is a beautiful country. The king has 2 very lovely daughters. One of them is called Elsa. Meng Meng is extremely satisfied. She fell asleep deeply. One morning, Meng Meng is still asleep. You get up early. The next moment you rubbed your eyes as if you couldn't believe it. The ointment on the tea in the living room disappeared, and your eyes gradually lit up. A discouraged smile appeared on his face. Today you came out of the house with a happy mood. Drowning in the bath and cooking, you spent more than 2 hours in total. After cooking breakfast, there is another task today. Call your daughter to wake up. Meng Meng was awakened by your gentle voice. She rubbed her sleepy eyes, and then the first time she saw you, the cute smile of a cute man gradually stood up on her face, and the little guy stretched out 2 soft pens. You immediately stretch out your hand and gently pick her up, put on the new clothes you just bought yesterday, and then go out to wash up. Have you learned how to take care of children in the video? But the theory is the theory. Now when you get up for a while, you know how difficult it is. The little guy's body is too delicate. You don't dare to use force, so the whole process seems clumsy. Especially when the little guy ties his hair, it seems even more powerless. After working hard for a long time, in the end I could only prick it crookedly. Dad is a big fool. Meng Meng saw her crooked hair in the mirror, poked her small mouth and laughed at Qing. You pinched his little nose, which made Meng Meng can't help but laugh at her brother. She didn't speak. She just silently walked into the kitchen and brought out breakfast. Maybe she didn't even notice it. The corners of her mouth had already been slightly raised inadvertently, and after a simple breakfast you didn't return Meng Meng to Xia Xiao, but continued to take Meng Meng to the sofa and played with princess things. Just this time. While playing with Meng Meng, you inadvertently instilled some very simple numbers in her little head, numbers from 1 to 10, and after discovering Meng Meng's problem, you secretly made a plan in your usual play. Cultivating a small family and self-directed learning plan start with simple numbers to some common sense of life. You will slowly teach Meng Meng. Obviously this is not an overnight success, but fortunately Meng Meng is very smart. No one taught her these phenomena before, but now under your inadvertent guidance, there are good phenomena. It makes you feel much more comfortable. Haruka Shimonishi is downloading the software while observing the interaction between the father and daughter, and at this time she also found that you were teaching Meng Meng in the previous scene, and she watched calmly. There was a hint of sweetness in her heart. She had long wanted to teach her children, but the previous family environment, their lives were already very difficult. How could she have the ability to teach Meng Meng like a normal mother? Shimo 11 Yao retracted her gaze. Looking at the mobile phone screen, this is indeed the latest mobile phone. The download speed of the software is very fast. Just a few seconds, a software has been downloaded, and the moment Yao Shimonishi logged on his WeChat, there was an unread message talked about. It was the little assistant Tao Lele who had followed her for 2 years, and her WeChat was a total of those people, in addition to you, and several Tao Lele messages from the previous company from her marriage to the first 2 days. Most of them asked her about the situation, but she never replied. Looking at this series of messages, Shimo 11 Yao's heart was slightly full, and immediately replied, I'm sorry, Lele. I haven't been able to reply to your message before. I'm fine now. Don't worry, within 2 seconds after the message was sent. The message on the other side came back in second Sister 11 Yao, you are finally alive. I thought you wouldn't want to pay attention to me after you got married Sister 11 Yao, you don't know since you disappeared. There were many messages in the company, especially the hated Lu Qian who has been arrogant for the past 2 years, and he said bad things about you when he met people, saying that you deserve it. He was really angry, and when he saw Lele's message, Xia 11 Yao's small mouth sounded slightly. Lu Qian is right, he really deserves it. He was in the company before, at this time he has been pressing a bucket of Lu Qian, and it is reasonable to be like this after withdrawing from the circle. Xia Xiao did not respond to Lele's words, but asked about her import. It's a big Sister 11 Yao. Don't worry. I can't kill a small gun, but I miss Sister 11 Yao. Will you still pay? Xia Xiao was shocked. There was a hint of longing in her eyes. Would she still give? She turned her head to look at you, and then looked at Meng Meng, and after a while the desire in her eyes slowly faded. Probably not, but if Lele missed me, she would not. At this time, a little girl with a height of about 1.6 meters in the Tianmei Entertainment Building in the center of the city put down the weight on her shoulders, and her hands were even more excited to hold her mobile phone and keep tapping. But soon a sharp girl woke her up from her happiness. Tao Lele, are you lazy? Hurry up and work. Do you think you were the assistant of the popular little flower before? If you don't want to do it, get out of here as soon as possible. The owner of the voice is a long one. Fox Girl's narcissistic woman, her face raised upwards, the slender flowing night eyes are full of unremitting what to look at, and don't report the equipment to the recording studio. The 3 of you can afford to accompany me to record. Tao Lele glanced at this woman, secretly pushed but still carried the equipment network on the ground and walked to the recording studio. So to meet Sister 11 Yao, I have a holiday this Saturday. I have time to contact. Xia 11 Yao looked at such a message, and finally had a smile on his face. She flipped through it again, but there was no other information, so she switched to Weibo again, and her last update on Weibo was still 2 years ago. It was her life that announced her retirement from the circle, and the original hundreds of thousands of fans belong to now. It has become thousands in addition to Jiang Wet fans. Xingyuan still has some old fans who often gossip and care about themselves, so they flipped through Weibo's hot searches, all of which are recent lace news, but there are a few of them talking about a song that has recently exploded. Evil Life Has You, immortal song, mysterious singer with just one video. A page of fans tore millions. Xingyao, who is she? In-depth analysis take you to take stock of a recent treasure song. Shimonishi Haruka is very curious. What is the song that has become popular recently? So she looked for the title and clicked in. The mobile phone screen automatically jumped to a video interface. The familiar guitar melody sounded. The living room became quiet, and only the singing voice answered in the ears of the 3 of them. You turned your head awkwardly, cute and cute. Her big eyes spread out into Xia Xiao's arms, and looked at the mobile phone screen. Xia Xiao was completely stunned. This familiar singing voice was not the song that came out of the room 2 days ago. It turned out that he was recording a video that day, or Meng Meng was the first to speak. He stretched out his little finger to the mobile phone screen, looked up at 11 Yao. His big eyes were full of curiosity. It was Dad. Dad was on the phone. Well, it was Dad. Haruka Shimonishi touched the little guy's head and responded. He only now understood why you have so much money to replace furniture at home. The number of likes is millions. Can you have no money? He turned his head to look at your well-defined side face. The eyes are complicated and inexplicable. Meng Meng got her mother's answer, and she happily threw herself back into your arms, holding her father's face with 2 short hands. Her big eyes were full of bright light, and she was angry. Dad was so gentle, and Meng Meng also wanted to sing. Also go into the mobile phone. 2 soft little hands press on your face. Your eyes gradually melt. The same 2 big hands hold your daughter's little face. Do you like to sing? Meng Meng also likes to sing. Meng Meng answered without hesitation with big eyes. Your smile is even brighter. Okay. Then Dad taught Meng Meng to sing, and when Meng Meng learns it, he will sing on his mobile phone. Okay. Meng Meng kept nodding her little head, and then happily kissed the side of your face hard, and you immediately smiled when you got the reward. Under the little guy's admiring eyes, he quickly ran back to the side nest, took out the guitar, and returned to the sofa. You even coaxed a rare one, and then stroked the strings. Today Dad composed a children's song exclusive to Meng Meng. Dad sang it to Meng Meng first and sang it to Meng Meng the next time Meng Meng sang along. Meng Meng nodded happily. The little face is full of anticipation. This song is called Courage Explosion. Meng Meng listened well. After saying that, you gently swept the strings and the melody was brisk. And then I remembered in the living room Meng Meng's rhythm was surprisingly good. He shook his head and swayed him gently to the melody. You involuntarily followed the little guy and swung your body, watching the pair of movements unanimously negative to you. Xia Xiao's eyes gradually softened, and a smile quietly appeared on his face. He actually joined in the rhythm of the whole family. The first time the whole family was immersed in the ocean of joy. At this moment, even the living room was up to sing, and Meng Meng clenched her small fist and made a full superhuman gesture. At this time, you also put down the guitar in your hand, gestured with the little guy, and then stretched out your finger and gently tapped on Meng Meng's playfulness. Meng Meng threw herself into your arms, and 2 short hands hugged your neck tightly. Dad, Meng Meng likes this kind of dad. Don't change back to the way you used to be. Okay, Meng Meng's weak voice sounded in your ears, you opened your mouth slightly, and suddenly there was a mist in your eyes, holding Meng Meng tightly in your arms, and your face was buried deep under Meng Meng's clothes. Well, Dad will never be like that again. His voice is hoarse and shoulder-fixed. Xia Xiao can't see your expression at this moment. He is already in tears at the moment, but he has a smile on his face. He knows that the old days will never appear again. Never again, you will be the first to adjust your emotions, put the guitar by your side, and hold Meng Meng on your lap. Good match, Meng Meng agreed very quickly, and the next time became the teaching time of the two women, and the whole morning the living room echoed with the singing of the two. It's just that what he does is obviously not as good as your craftsmanship, and this family atmosphere makes you feel very comfortable when eating. This is like the Meng Meng that a real family should have, Meng Meng learned very quickly, and it only took 3 days to explode with courage, and this song was sung in its entirety. And at Meng Meng's strong request, you also took a video for Meng Meng and posted. In the video, the cute fan wears a princess dress, wearing a bow, her small body sways to the music, it's so cute, your face is smiling during the shoot, your face is full of this is my daughter, my proud Sunder expression. Watching the lively Xia Xiao on the side, Xia Xiao inadvertently saw your face and almost held back her laughter to the point of anger. She was the first time she saw you, and she could still have this appearance in the past 3 days, because of your good performance. Xia Xiao's relationship with her has eased a lot. At least Xia Xiao will take the initiative to say a couple of words to you now. No one thought that the second video of Xi Niao's account turned out to be a song. The song is still original, and it is still so good. Xiao Li discovered this video at the first time, and after watching the whole video, she gave the biggest reservation without thinking. Such a cute milk dumpling. Such a beautiful song. Xiao Li smiled on his face, and his whole mouth cracked into two. Immediately afterwards, the hot search exploded again, and the storm with you has not completely fallen, and the storm of the swimming steam has already blown up, and the popularity of this video has come even more rapidly, and the number of likes has reached 5 million in just one afternoon. The number of comments is even more ridiculous, which also leads to the fact that at night you have to mute your mobile phone again, sit on the sofa with Meng Meng, and swipe the comment area tirelessly. I want to have such a daughter, I don't allow Fong Yuanbai to have yellow hair. This is the most liked comment. There must be a father, there must be a name, the father first has a life, Yu Wang just started, and the daughter then had a big explosion of courage. The following video is whether it is time for the mother to appear. This is the most replied comment one day Saturday. You just finished riding and pushed open the door of the house while wiping your sweat, and you saw Xia Xiao wearing a newly bought slip dress coming out of the bathroom. She obviously had just finished taking a shower. She was blowing her hair. Her smiling face was slightly red from the heat. The two of them stared at each other, and a poem suddenly popped up in your mind. Seeing you staring at yourself like a fool, Xia Xiao's chest was gradually snowing on her face for a while, and even her ears began to turn red. Obviously the two of them had been married for more than 2 years, and now it felt like they had just been together. The little couple is generally early. Xia Xiao tried to calm herself down and say hello to you, but she couldn't help but add money to the bedroom. You simply replied. Xia Xiao didn't speak, and Tao also ran back to the bedroom. You smiled helplessly, got rid of the cranky thoughts in your head, and walked into the bathroom, took a bath and cooked, and asked Meng Meng to get up daily 3-piece set. When you pushed open the bedroom door, Meng Meng was still asleep. After a few days of normal diet and sleep, Meng Meng's face is much more watery, although she is still thin, but her mental outlook is much better with the naked eye. You sat on the edge of the bed and watched for a while, floated down, gently pinched the little guy's nose. Meng Meng got up to eat. The little guy lying on the bed was very small, opened his eyes slightly, and when he saw you, the corners of his mouth couldn't stop pointing to the ground. Then she slowly stretched out her short hand and hugged your neck. Dad, you smiled, reached out to pick her up, walked out of the bedroom door, and put her on the stool in front of the sink. The little guy has been washing her face and brushing her teeth for the past 2 days. You were holding her next to her, squeezing toothpaste for her and taking a towel or something. Meng Meng is very smart, you only taught for 2 days, she learned the skill. Xia Xiao also walked out of the bedroom door at this time. The long hair behind her was also coiled up high by her, tied into a small ball head. Xia Xiao like this makes you can't point it in front of you, and nodded. Is this the vitality that a person in his 20s should have? But he is still too thin. If it were rounded, it would definitely look better. Xia Xiao was still a little nervous in her heart. Her eyes were slightly red. This was the first time she was dressed like this at home. I don't know if it looked good. She looked up and looked at you, still taking care of you. Quietly walked to the dining table and left. Just when her eyes seemed to light up, it means that it is still good-looking. Wait, why should I care about her opinion? Xia Xiao angrily stuffed the chopsticks and stirred twice in the bowl. She was angry with her own dissatisfaction, and you also fell off with the washed Meng Meng at this time. Meng Meng called out sweetly, and then picked up her special small spoon and shook up the millet porridge in front of her. Can you go out with us today? You suddenly heard Xia Xiao's words. Looking up at Xia Xiao with a puzzled look, Xia Xiao nodded and didn't look at it. But the ear hammer was already brighter than the low okay. The reason why I want to take you and Meng Meng is to be taken. It's completely because Tao Lele wants to see the little guy, and the little guy has become your little tail in the past 2 days, and he is inseparable from you, so you are purely stained with the little guy's light, and after 2 years she can see Sister 11 Yao again. Tao Lele was very excited. She bought a few cups of milk tea in advance, sat on the seat, and kept staring at the door of the milk tea shop. It's just a pity that Xia Xiao will be with you after that, and she doesn't understand why Sister Xiao has to be with that useless man. She can't figure it out and persuaded Xia Xiao at the beginning, as if she was iron-hearted. I couldn't listen to the persuasion at all. Tao Lele was thinking wildly in her mind, and suddenly saw the familiar voice, lifting a bouncing little milk dumpling. Walking in from the door of the store, her eyes lit up, and she stood up and waved her hand. Sister 11 Yao here? Xia Xiao heard the sound, and when she looked up, she saw Tao Lele's waving hand, and she couldn't help but smile on her face. In addition to the joy in the eyes of the two, they were a little tough, and they all couldn't suppress their feelings when they met their long-separated sisters. The little mouth was holding back. Sister 11 Yao, you have suffered a lot. Is that man not good to you? What about others? I will help you teach him a lesson. Xia Xiao was sensitive. The famous mouth shook her head. Yu Tao Lele sat down together and hugged Meng Meng beside him and sat down. Only then did he speak. Lele, don't worry. It's good that she takes me now. What about you after I leave? Are you still working well? I'm fine too. Sister Xiao, you don't know how much I miss you. The two asked each other about the current situation. After chatting for a while, Tao Lele moved his gaze to the little guy. The little guy had just been obedient next to him. Tao Lele only cared about the rain, and 11 Yao continued for a long time, and never looked at her carefully, and now when he looked closely, his eyes immediately lit up. Sister Xiao looks like a mother and son, especially those big smart eyes, which can make people like this little guy at a glance. Tao Lele said as she left her seat, squatted in front of the little guy, stretched out her hand and touched the little guy's little face, and then her brows furrowed slightly. The little guy, like Sister 11 Yao, is the same monster. Tao Lele is now in a great mood in her heart. She was sure that the useless man must be bad for Sister 11 Yao and the child. The more she thought about it, the more angry she became, and now she wanted to question the man face to face. So she raised her head and looked at Xia Xiao. Sister Xiao, didn't she say that she would come too? What about people? Xia Xiao can also feel Tao Lele's hostility towards you, but she doesn't know what to say now in this gentle prince. There was a little more cowardice. She could feel it. For fear of scaring the child, Tao Lele could only snort coldly, returned to the seat, but secretly gritted her teeth. Wanted to kill you, Sister 11 Yao. Tao Lele just wanted to speak, but suddenly stopped, her eyes gradually suctioned. Looking at the door of the milk tea shop, Xia Xiao was stunned. The expression on her face was even more embarrassed. She thought it was you who came, which led to Lele's enemy, and just wanted to turn around to see a slightly spy voice. Thinking of Tao Lele from behind her, you still have time to drink milk tea. Are you done with the work I gave you? Lu Qian, you are endless. Today is a day off. Tao Lele's face is ugly, like a kitten that fries. The person who spoke hard, Xia Xiao, turned around, and then he saw clearly that the person who came was Lu Qian. Xia Xiao, while the popular little flower of a company with himself before, and he also took the route of a powerful singer. Isn't this Sister 11 Yao? Sister 11 Yao is not at home. The Honest and Honest Rehabilitation Group come out to find Lele what to do. Lu Qian's eyes are waiting for a smile, and the words that come out of her mouth are full of tide. And she hasn't said anything yet. Tao Lele next to her is angry first. Lu Qian, take care of yourself. It's not a working day. You are less in the scene and yang weird. Sister 11 Yao. Let's go. There is a wind dog here. It will only affect our mood. Tao Lele finished speaking, hugged Meng Meng, took Xia 11 Yao's hand and was about to leave. But he didn't want Lu Qian to stand in front of them first. His eyes were a little hellish. He looked at Xia 11 Yao without feet and smiled. Hey, Sister 11 Yao, why are you so thin? Isn't life easy? It's not easy, tell my sister. I can still give alms. Who told me to be kind-hearted? You see, Lele, now smash under my hands. Life is not very good. Are you right, Lele? Tao Lele. Lidi cleared his face and looked at Lu Qian without saying a word. Xia 11 Yao turned his head and looked at Tao Lele. His eyes were full of unknowability. You must know that what is smashed is to sell strength. How can the company let Lele do this? But now is obviously not the time to ask. Xia 11 Yao turned his head. Looking at Lu Qian's eyes also brought anger, but he was just about to speak. Tao Lele was born first. The contract I signed with the company expires at the end of the month, and I will naturally resign at that time. I just hope that someone will not climb higher and fall worse. If Sister 11 Yao pays, someone may dream of washing Lu Qian. Was stunned. He did have some shadow on Xia Xiao. After all, Xia Xiao had pressed him for a year and a half before, who knew him during that time. But Lu Qian laughed quickly. He looked at Xia 11 Yao with the eyes of a second poem. Pay. This is the funniest joke I have ever heard. Is there a company that dares to sign such an expired artist with a child? Speaking of children, Xia 11 Kiln. Your child looks pretty good. You can consider cultivating him into a new generation of popular little flowers, Lu Qian said unremittingly, and even he was looking forward to it, so he wanted to pinch the cute little face assistant. Take your dirty hands away from me. I promise you dare to touch him. I let you cry. There's no place to cry. Two voices sounded at the same time. One was from the lower kiln, and the other was a thick boy from you with ruthlessness in your eyes. Hurry up and walk to the Xia 11 kiln. Give the three of them the spirit of the soldiers in his hand, and then face Lu Qian, and block the lower 11 kiln and Meng Meng behind him. Lu Qian was startled, and her body involuntarily took 2 steps back. Angry, you give people a strong sense of oppression, but when he fixed himself and looked at you carefully, he suddenly smiled. It turned out to be this little white face, useless waste. Who am I? It turned out to be you. Why do you still want to hit people in public? You frowned, looked back at Xia 11 kiln, with a questioning look in his eyes. Ning Jian was asking where Xia 11 Yao's belly came from. He was a singer from the previous company. I didn't expect to meet him here. You may not be afraid of others. But Xia 11 Yao was a little scared. Seeing you looking at himself, he lowered his head slightly. Seeing Xia 11 Yao like this, your brows furrowed even tighter, and your heart was even more carbon. And he didn't ask Xia 11 Yao. He turned his head and stared at Lu Qian condescendingly. Singer, I'm sorry, I haven't heard of you and I don't know you. I only know that a good dog doesn't get in the way. Get out of the way in your heart. You are very serious. When Lu Qian's voice is sharper, you have to see your own weight clearly. You think I don't know. You flatter Gao Chang Su Bin in the fancy boy group every day, invite people to drink every day, and now you are pretending to be a big-tailed man with me here. Gao Chang Su Bin, you think about these 2 names carefully and finally remember who these 2 are. The members of the boy band that the original owner belonged to before wanted to redebut after quitting the circle, and indeed often invited them to drink and flattered them. But the birds didn't bird him, and I didn't belong to the 2 you said, and you are entangled like this. Don't blame me for calling the security guard. Lu Qian was silent but still obediently got out of the way. You pulled up the Xia 11 kiln behind you, and you have escaped from the roots again, and you are not allowed to go outside just rubbing past Lu Qian. Lu Qian suddenly spoke to Xia 11 Yao, but suddenly spoke, it's a pity. Someone can no longer sing Xia 11 kiln. My new song will be released at the end of this month. And Lu Qinjin laughed happily after saying that. Lu Qinjin laughed happily. How can you compare with me? Lu Qian's gradual voice echoed in Jiren's ears, escaping, wishing to rush up to give him a look now, obviously knowing that Sister Xiao likes to sing. But now she can't sing. He said this. It was simply murderous. Your footsteps also paused, looked deeply, and then continued to walk out expressionlessly. Xia 11 Yao did not speak, but only slightly sensitized the famous mouth. But this was an intelligent homonym, but suddenly remembered. The voice is crisp and firm. Mom sings better than you. You try a bad aunt. Everyone is evil. No one thought that the little guy would happen for his mother. You were just stunned for a second, and then rubbed the little guy's head with a smile. Powerful, it was indeed his own daughter, and there was still some anger in his heart. As soon as Meng Meng was born, the strength in his heart could be thrown out of the wine. Ignoring Lu Qian's reaction, several people left this place of right and wrong, and the group came to a restaurant. The 2 of them chatted with Tao Lu in the lower evening kiln and had been walking on the road before. Some of them were worried in his heart, but he didn't ask, and now he finally sat down. There were no outsiders around. He took Tao Leilei's hand, and finally asked the question he had always wanted to ask. Leilei, how did you smash Lu Qian? And Sister Yun, what is he doing now? Sister Yun was the agent before Xia 11 Yao, almost 40 years old, but he has always been very good, like a daughter. Hearing Xia 11 Kiln's question. After you left, Sister Yun was fired not long after. He looked for a long time but couldn't find a job, and then his mother fell ill and was hospitalized, and he needed to take care of his mother in the hospital. I only found a job as a nanny. Xia 11 Yao didn't expect Sister Yun to be reduced to this point now. He was a little dazed in front of his eyes, and he could vaguely see Sister Yun's neat appearance when doing things at that time, and both of them fell silent. He knew that he was blaming himself for all this. If it weren't for his willfulness, Sister Yun wouldn't be like this. He had disobeyed the company's orders so many times for himself, and he had money to work for the company, so naturally he wouldn't say anything. After patting his butt and saying that he would retreat, you can imagine what kind of treatment Sister Yun will encounter. The atmosphere is a little dull. After a few people hastily eat, Tao Leilei had a conversation with Xia 11 Kiln again, and then left in a hurry. The mood of Xia 11 Yao has been very low. Originally a family of 3 made an appointment in the afternoon to accompany Meng Meng to the amusement park to play. But now he is not even in the mood to play. You can naturally feel his mood, want to say something, but in the end he still didn't say. In fact, you don't understand why Xia 11 Yao wanted to marry himself as if he had been injected with ecstasy at the beginning. The original owner didn't know. And you didn't know that Xia 11 Yao wanted to go home. He wanted to be alone quietly. But when he saw Meng Meng's expectant eyes, in order not to disappoint Meng Meng, the last family of 3 still came to the amusement park. The little guy was very happy. He came to the amusement park for the first time, and he was about to rush into the amusement park when he took your hand, and he was about to rush into the evening kiln. He didn't want to be in the future. Meng Meng recalled the first trip to the amusement park. He was sad. The family took the lead in experiencing the carousel, and then played a few more projects. The sky was fading in the middle of the shore before he knew it, and the playground was also lit up with colorful lights. The last project is the Ferris wheel, and when you hold Meng Meng and open the door with Xia 11 Kiln and sit inside, Meng Meng is already lying in your arms and falling asleep. The Ferris wheel slowly rises, and the building with colorful light on the ground gradually shrinks. What you don't know is that Xia 11 Yao is also the first time to come to the amusement park to play, and it is the first time to ride the Ferris wheel. His pair of eyes look curiously outside the cabin, his eyes are shining, he looks out the window, you look at him. Su sensed your gaze, his earlobes slowly turned red, and the glue scale glanced at you. This is the first time you have seen this kind of gaze, and you can't bear it. The lights on the Ferris wheel shining on his sail's face, you suddenly feel a little live. The Ferris wheel is still slowly rising, and the next moment the four corners of the castle are almost instantly set off fireworks into the air at the same time. And at this moment when the fireworks bloom, you can clearly see a morning smile on the face of the lower sunset kiln. That's a little from the heart, you are a little stunned. The Ferris wheel is also slowly rising to the highest point at this time. The fireworks are clearer, and the face of the lower kiln is more charming. You don't have to be as afraid as before. Your voice is a little light in the sound of fireworks. Xia 11 Yao didn't hear clearly. He turned his face to look at you with questions. You didn't look at him. Continue to look at the flowers in the air. Melody, you are too gentle. This is not good. You will be bullied. You don't have to be as afraid as you used to. I know. You want to sing. I also know you have a lot of things you want to do. Don't worry. Meng Meng has me to take care of you. Xia 11 Yao has no memories. You turn your face, and you see that his face is already 2 lines of business, greedy mouth, and his eyes look at you without blinking. The strong grievances in your eyes and the complex situation are about to overwhelm you. You suddenly become nervous. You don't understand. Why did you suddenly cry? Who are you? Xia 11 Yao has been staring at you tightly, and you are a mist in those trusting eyes. The crisp sound is not loud, but it falls in your heart. But it is so what you want. You are silent. The air gradually falls silent. It seems that even the sound of fireworks has disappeared, and it took a long time for you to smile gently at it, and then your voice suddenly became a little hoarse. I am Bu Xingi. Xia 11 Yao continues to look at you. Your smile makes him feel that his heartbeat is suddenly chaotic, like a small road bumping. Your answer is even more unexpected. He looked at your clear and shining eyes. Tears suddenly fell faster. He hugged his legs, buried his head in a soft voice, and then spoke. Yes, you are Bu Xingi. Who else can you be if you are not him? Let me tell you a glitch story. There used to be a little girl in the orphanage. She was very timid. But there was always an older brother in the orphanage who was a year older than her to protect her. And one day she was bullied by a group of boys who kept her behind her, and the clock didn't hurt her at all, but she was a mutant spirit injury in her eyes. The brother who was 1 year older than her was her heaven. But after that, the brother disappeared until later, when she grew up, she saw that brother again and married her as she wished. Now she finally understood something. She went to the West Kiln and raised her head. Her tears were covered with tears, and the whole person looked so lonely and resentful. She finally told the secret in her heart. No one understood her master, and everyone was more than for her. Only she firmly believes that she is worth it, but the result is really so bad. She has regretted it countless times until you appear now. She asked her who she was. She said she was Gu Xingi. This is enough, the soft satisfaction in your eyes. Suddenly I can understand the mood of Xiao. Seeing the tenderness and love in your eyes, Xiaxio can no longer bear to lay directly into your arms, and Meng Meng grabbed the position in his arms, gasping softly, and Meng Meng was woken. Me blindfolded and looked at his mother occupying his position. The little guy was just stunned for a moment, and then happily rubbed one hand and his father's mother kneaded with the other, and the two kissed their cheeks. Today is the best day in Meng Meng. You look at the big and small beauties in your arms, and suddenly it fails, and the trajectory of life is developing in a good direction, which is enough, but some plans have to be changed, and the fireworks are gradually coming to an end. The demon heaven will slowly landed on the ground, and the lower West Kiln walked in front with Meng Meng in his arms, and you followed behind, looking at the lower West Kiln that was not as good as it was, and touched his nose. The whole person seemed to have regained his previous indifferent attitude towards you in an instant. Xia Xiao was very nervous. Even the hand holding Meng Meng was tight. He felt that his earlobes and cheeks were a little hot. He had been in your arms for so long just now. Still like a little girl, rubbing around in his arms. It's really terrible. He must be laughing at himself in his heart. When he just came out of the demon heaven wheel, he saw the smile hidden on the man's face. Thinking of this, he couldn't help but sell even faster. It seems to be halfway in and out. You don't know why this woman is so energetic all of a sudden. You have to trot to keep up with him, until you get out of the gate of the amusement park, and you see that the West Kiln has not stopped. You have to shout to him. Could it be that you are going to walk home? Just take a taxi here, go down to the West Kiln and stop standing on the side of the road without looking at you. He feels even more that you must be laughing at yourself behind again, hateful and even more humiliating. After waiting for a long time, you finally arrived at a taxi. This also made you have the idea of buying a car for the first time. The taxi stopped smoothly at the gate of the community. You paid the fare, hugged Meng Meng and walked out of the car with your own hands, returned home, and you took Meng Meng back to the room to settle down. Don't go to the bedroom soon. You go to bed and fall asleep quickly. Compared to your cold falling asleep, Xia 11 Yao is a little tossed and turned. He is lying on the bed. As soon as he closes his eyes, it unconsciously appears in his mind. In the scene of today's amusement park, Xia 11 Yao pulled the quilt a little angrily, covered his face, and wanted to snatch himself from sleep, but his constantly exploding eyelashes no longer showed how uneasy his heart was at the moment. At 6 o'clock in the morning, you woke up on time as usual. Chun Pao washed and cooked, shouted Meng Meng to get up and end the one-stop, but didn't see Shashi Kiln come out of the room. Looking at the closed door of the main nest, you scratched your head, It seems that it was indeed a little late to come back last night. He hasn't gotten up yet, and you don't have the idea of calling him, just leave him a breakfast, and after putting it away you wash and put away the used evening pieces, and when you come out of the kitchen you also get up from the west kiln and walk through the living room with a slightly red face. Come to the bathroom to wash up. Do you still want to continue singing? Hearing your voice, Xia 11 Yao was slightly stunned for a moment, and there was no response for a long time, and you were also on the bathroom door mine with your mobile phone, quietly waiting for his answer after a while. His soft voice sounded in his ears, thinking that there was only one word, without too much answer. In the heart of Xia Xiao, the current days were already a life he had not dared to imagine in the past 2 years, and singing was a very distant dream. You can only bury it in your heart, you only brushed it once. I haven't looked at it since then, and now it's hard to rummage through it again, but you still swipe the screen silently, patiently filtering one by one, and finally your eyes light up, and then click on one of the private messages and look at the content of the private message. You unconsciously tapped your fingers on the screen, doing some considerations. Originally your original intention of posting the video was just to make money, and when you make enough money you will settle Meng Meng and Xiaoxiu, and then you will attack the city and retreat, but you experienced yesterday's events. You changed your mind. The content of this private message is very simple. Mr. Inhai Entertainment Chang Yao joins our team, one of the big three. The butt platform in this world is the butt company. Just think about it for a moment. You don't hesitate, enter a butt contact number, broadcast it, and the phone is connected after just a few thoughts. Listen to a voice of relief from the empathy. Hello, please ask who is hello. My account name is Xing Yao. I received an invitation from your company. Is it convenient to chat now? I am far away from the model at the moment. But headquarters Yang Chenglin received a call with a slight expression. He didn't expect this name the newly invited creator would really call him after all. It has been a few days since he sent a private message invitation to the other party. He thought that the other party would not shoot in the entertainment industry. Hey, are you still there? The good-sounding boy on the other end of the phone came. Yang Chengling reacted Do-ran, and then a happy look appeared on his face. You must know that the hottest thing on the internet these days is undoubtedly this mysterious guy. Mr. New Invitation. I am Yang Chengling, Deputy Minister of Human Resources and Administration of Yinhai Entertainment. Do you want to join us, Yinhai Entertainment? Hello? Minister Yang? I'm sorry. I don't have the idea of shooting in the entertainment industry for the time being, but I would like to recommend your singer to you. I don't know if your company has this will. Yang Qingling's department is a little disappointed. He smiled bitterly and shook his head. What he wants is a new invitation. Mr. New Invitation, yes, I am just a deputy minister. If you want to come, with your fame, I can make my own decisions, but if it were someone else, I am afraid I would not have the right to agree to you directly. Even if I was a little reluctant in my heart, Yang Chengling still explained to you seriously. I can assure you that he is a very powerful singer, and I will write songs for him, and if your company needs songs in the future, I can be a musician for your Yinhai Entertainment. But there must be conditions. Don't let anyone come to me to write songs. I won't write what I can't see, if you agree. We can talk about the specific details again. What do you think? On the other end of the phone, instead of talking lightly, Yang Chengling gradually fell silent. And at this moment his mind was spinning rapidly, thinking about the power in it, and after a while, Yang Chengling admitted that he was moved. But the company is not his hall. He still has to react upwards. Mr. New Invitation, this is not something I can decide alone. I will discuss with the company here, and then give you a reply. No matter if the idiom is not done, I will reply to you as soon as possible. Okay. Then I look forward to your reply. The phone hung up. Yang Chengling didn't hesitate. He picked up his mobile phone and hurriedly pushed the door away with concern. You put down your phone and thought for a moment, or decided to wait for the other party's reply. After all, Yinhai Entertainment is one of the 3 giants of China. Isn't it higher than other companies? If this doesn't work, you will find another way. It can be regarded as a new thing. You breathe a sigh of relief, open the door, and I can walk out from the side. Meng Meng was still playing with toys obediently. Not all the noise in his mouth. Shashi Kiln had finished washing, was sitting at the dining table eating, heard the sound of the door opening. He raised his head and glanced at it, and then pretended to lower his head to eat. It's just that the cultivation on his face just fell on your eyes, and those panda eyes. Wei knew what he was thinking last night, and he actually had insomnia. You were even more violent. I don't know what he was shy about. You didn't tell Xia 11 Yao about the entertainment company. It's useless to say it now. I'm not looking at him, but the door is suddenly knocked at this time, and you look at the lower west kiln suspiciously, only to find that the lower west kiln is also looking at yourself with a puzzled face, which makes you even more confused. You and the lower west kiln are both orphans. No one has come to the door for 10,000 years. Who will this be? The door continues to think, and the voice is getting louder and louder. Obviously the people outside can't get memories for a while, and they work harder. You frown. This person is so rude. But no one responded for a while, so you used so much force. You weren't waiting. Your face was slightly cold. You got up and didn't want to walk to the door. But you didn't want to be at this time. The people outside suddenly shouted. Xiaobu opened the door quickly. I know you're at home. Were you singing and singing? Don't you send messages every day to invite us to drink? Hearing these 2 crispy voices, your face turned completely dark, and the lower west kiln was even more pale, frowning and looking at the door with a lustful face. Meng Meng had already put the small toy and ran to the arms of the lower west kiln, and a violent knock on the door knocked it down. and when you turned your head you saw this scene, your face was darker, and even with silk gauze you coaxed yourself for so many days to coax your little treasure to be coaxed. These two dared to do this, unforgivable. You opened the door just like the eyes were connected to the ground. It was Gao Chang and Su Bing of the boy band you were in before. They had a fishy little face on their faces. They wanted to look over you into the house, but they didn't want to look into the house. Blocked by you, Xiao Biu, why did you open the door so late? You don't welcome us. Seeing their faces, you really want to punch them in the face. When they were put together on weekdays, these two people were called by one customer at a time. It's all because the original is the appearance of the previous boy group, and it was the original at the end which will drive this boy group to debut. When they become obscure, their faces change, a mouthful of a small cloth radical ridicule. Such a person is originally thinking of currying favor with them. It's really funny. You are not the original stupid, naturally you won't give them a good face. And ask, you two are not welcome here, where do you go back and forth? Gao Cheng on the right licked his face and took a step forward. Xiao Biu is in a bad mood today. Haven't you always wanted to see us before? What is your attitude when we came? I know I don't drink, come on, brother Gao will have a couple of drinks with you. If you were before, you would have happily welcomed a few people into the door for a drink. But you are not him, you closed the door by the way. I avoided Gao Cheng's outstretched hand. His expression was still indifferent. I took the wine. I won't drink it in the future. And I don't want to see you again. Don't come to me in the future. Gao Cheng stepped forward. Ding Jing looked at you, and turned his head to look at Su Bin. Both of them laughed. Xiao Bin, I heard it right, he said he didn't want to see us. Gao Cheng plucked out his ears, pretending to be incredible. Su Bin also smiled. Brother Gao, you heard it right, people are betting on Kaling. It's amazing, now it's true, the table has a problem with the brain, and I thought I was as beautiful as before. Gao Cheng's face instantly changed, and his face also became cold. How do you look at your face? Have you forgotten how you begged us before? You look at the clown like two people in front of you. Speechless, putting aside the performance costume to change your face, and singing and harmonizing, you subconsciously turn your head and look at the closed door, thinking that Meng Meng and Xia Xiao are still at home, and quarreling here will scare their mother and daughter's faces. You raised your hand and patted Gao Cheng's shoulder, waved your hand to drive away, and said that you had something to say, and after saying that, you didn't wait for Gao Cheng and the two to react, and took one in one hand and walked outside, waiting for Gao Cheng and Su Bin to react. I tried to break free from your hand, but found that you had a lot of strength in and out, and no matter how hard you tried, you couldn't break free from your front, and you walked all the way to the outside of the floor and you let go of them. Gao Cheng and Su Bin had a red face on their faces. They didn't expect to eat cakes, but just when your strength scared them, they didn't dare to move for a while. Don't you want to know what we're here for? After Gao Cheng finished speaking, Su Bin seemed to be afraid that you were refusing, forgetting Gao Cheng's words, and said, we are here to invite you back to the southern group. Haven't you always wanted to come back? Gao Cheng and Su Bin saw that you seemed to have some changes, and there was a hint of a pile of color in their eyes. Didn't you always want to come back? And said that it was Shimo Nishi Yao who ruined your future, and now we can help you come back, but you have to divorce Xia 11 Yao. How about it? It's simple, you still write and see, are these two people scattering cakes by themselves? Are you done? Get out of here, you don't give face, you don't want to give face, you don't give it at all, go straight back to the past. Looking at the red faces of the two of them, they looked like they wanted to move, but they didn't dare to move. You reached out and took the initiative to pat Gao Cheng's tip, and locked him in a bunch of locks. I know why you came, go back and tell your master, and ask him not to come to touch the porcelain Xiao. Otherwise, you didn't finish speaking. This point too, turned around and walked back. Looking at your back, Gao Cheng and Su Bin's faces were easily red, their eyes staring at you. Su Bin was still a little unwilling. Brother Gao, just let him go. Gao Cheng rubbed his shoulder that was slapped by you and returned angrily. Otherwise, it's strange. Why do you seem to have suddenly changed into a person? So much strength, go back. Since there is no way, look at you with a questioning expression. They are gone, well, they won't come again in the future, you said lightly, stretched out your hand to pick up Meng Meng, walked to the sofa and sat down, watching you play with Meng Meng as if nothing had happened, and then turned around and lowered your head to continue eating. The family has regained its previous warmth, different from your side. Gao Cheng, Su Bin and the two are uncomfortable. They were just humiliated by you, and then they were humiliated by Lu Qian severely, and the two of them gave Lu Qian a package ticket and said that they could persuade you. But they didn't want to be driven away directly, which made the two hate each other even more, and there was also a voice in the evening. Mr. Haruka Shin, we've discussed that you can recommend people to join the company, but what the above means is that you only have 2 songs at the moment, and there is also a dying children's song. Don't get me wrong, both songs are very good. But I still want to see your ability to compose. It is not convenient to know that it is not convenient to compose. Sure enough, with only 2 songs, the other party does not believe in his ability. Composing is yes. Your answer is simple and clear. Yang Qinglin's heart was originally quite bumpy. But hearing Xi and Yao agree so simply, he couldn't help but have some news in his heart. Today he has been running for a long time to support. He believes in Xi and Yao's talent, but there are still some doubts above. But in the end the company still agreed to give Xi and Yao a chance. It just so happens that Huaying recently gave several entertainment companies a problem. They recently invited many lyrics and songs because of this problem, but unfortunately they didn't get into the face, and finally they were all passed. If Xian Yao can solve this problem, the company will no longer doubt him. Mr. Xian Yao, can we meet and talk about the specific career here? You still need to come over for live lyrics and composition. Yang Chenglin said very sincerely he also wants to meet this mysterious guy. What does it look like? You think for a while. There is nothing else at home except to take care of the children, so you readily agreed. Okay, when and where is Modu? If possible, it is best to come over tomorrow. After all, the sooner you are, the more powerful it will be for you. Can better reflect your value. Then tomorrow afternoon, after hanging up the phone, you booked a ticket for tomorrow at 10 a.m. After a while, you have fallen asleep, and when you come back with Meng Meng, you will see you sleeping. Meng Meng walked to the sofa and gently snuggled into your arms. In the dream, you only felt that there was a kitten rubbing her face all the time. You were a little out of breath. You knew how to be surprised. Meng Meng's cheerful laughter echoed in your ears. You lower your head, only to realize that it is your precious daughter who pinched her nose with her soft little hands. Dad. After eating, you will think to yourself, suddenly feel that such a day is very good. The aroma of the food also floated over from the restaurant at this time. It makes you feel a little rotten. The figure of the lower waist came out of the kitchen, holding 2 bowls of rice in her hand. She glanced at you and said, seeing that you haven't woken up, I cooked, and you picked up Meng Meng. Stand up, full of color and fragrance. I'm hungry. I heard your praise. My waist was a little shy. She nodded, and went back to the kitchen and brought a bowl of rice to the table. The family was eating, and you added a small piece of crispy meat to the cute bowl. Turning to look at the lower waist and saying, by the way, I'm going out tomorrow. I don't know how many days I can come back. The lower waist was drinking soup, and suddenly I heard your words. I was shot all of a sudden. I couldn't stop coughing, and you were busy going up to stop the shot. With a worried face, she took the panic and turned her back to wipe her mouth. And when she heard that you were suddenly going out, she was indeed a little flustered, and then looked at the lower waist. I'm sorry, I decided for you without asking your opinion, but Meng Meng said that you like singing. I think you should like it. I didn't tell you before things were done, and now other companies have asked me to talk about it. This time the negotiation is done. You can pay openly, continue to sing in high entertainment. It should be good. She let herself sing and look at you for a while. You are very serious, and the two look at each other. The lower waist trusts a certain person suddenly confused with water. The eyes are slightly red. A pair of beautiful people are suddenly as gentle as water. This dish makes you a little unbearable. Bow your head. 8 shots. I like to sing. I like it very much. I like it. I like it. My voice is getting more and more firm. She likes to sing, and she also wants to make Lele and Sister Yun better and no longer be bullied. Since she met Tao Lele, she has been worried about them. You look up and smile gently. No need to write. If you like it, that's enough. Early one morning, you go back. I estimate that it will only be a day or 2 at most. I'll be back. Don't worry. You call a taxi to the airport, turn around and say to your lower waist. Shachi nodded. There was a look of reluctance in her eyes. Obviously she wanted to escape from you before, but she didn't expect that in just a few days she would feel reluctant to leave her and go out for 2 days. How can it be like a life and death separation? You are very calm to stop looking at her. Turn around and sit in the taxi. The car moves away. The 2 deep shadows in the rearview mirror gradually become smaller. You close your eyes. You can't tell what it feels like. 3 hours later, you just got off the plane. I felt the enthusiasm of the Modu. Compared to Jiangqing, there were too many people here, and with the surging crowd, you rubbed your body with difficulty and walked all the way to exit 5 before breathing a sigh of relief and standing in front of the exit. You look at the large group of people holding signs outside, looking for your own name, and before you come again, you make an appointment with Yang Chengling, and she will pick you up here at the exit. This made you look for a long time before you finally saw a tall peach dress in a professional suit. She was holding Xing Yao's card in her hand. Why don't you step forward and wave to her? Hello, are you Minister Yang? I'm Xing Yao. The real famous teacher is not happy. Sorry for making you wait for a long time. Yang Chengling looked at the person in front of him. A hint of difference flashed in his eyes. Yang Chengling couldn't help but feel a little regretful. It would be great if I could sign you. Hello? I'm Yang Chengling. I've just arrived. Mr. Xing Yao is really young. Yang Chengling had a professional smile on his face, shook hands with you gently, and then let go. Let's go this way. There are too many people here. My car is parked in the underground parking lot, and now I'm going to the restaurant. Let's find a place to eat first, and then think about it. I'd walk outside side by side with Yang Chengling. Yang Chengling is indeed a person in the alcohol workplace. She was looking for topics while walking, chatting with you. I thought that a young man like you didn't know how to chat much, but when I got in touch, I found that the other party could actually keep up with her own topics, and she didn't face the sky like other young people at all. This makes Yang Chengling not swim and look up to the eyes. Sure enough, excellent people can eat everywhere. You don't know. Yang Chengling looked at you again. If you knew, you must be speechless. You have 2 styles of skills, and you are in your 50s. If you don't have this emotional intelligence, then you can just find a rope. The 2 got into the car. You look at the bustling model outside the window. Yang Chengling introduces you to the local characteristics from time to time. In just a while, the 2 of them arrived at a special restaurant. While waiting for the food to be served, Yang Chengling got down to business. I'll call you Mr. Gu. I don't know who you recommend this time, an amateur or a professional singer. I don't know if Minister Yang has heard of Harumi Aishimani. She used to be a singer. But later I quit the circle. Now it's a giving. When it comes to business, you look willing to recruit. Yang Chengling curses Plum. He has heard 11 Yao song, the popular little flower 2 years ago. the singing skills are really good. However, the reason why he cursed May was that he was forced to withdraw from the circle because his relationship was exposed, and the person he fell in love seemed to be a little white face who did nothing, which was very difficult to deal with. Yang Chenglin thought for a moment. After brushing off the hair of the brigade that demanded money, the deposit looked at you. I know him, I don't know what Mr. Bu's relationship is with him. Do you know why he quit the circle before? You look at Yang Chenlin's eyes are faint couple. She is my wife. Even Yang Chenglin of the alcohol battlefield can't help but call husband and wife when she hears your answer. She is the legendary little white face. What kind of joke is it possible that Haruka Shimonishi divorced that one? I found another one. Seeing Yang Chenlin's expression, you guessed what he was thinking. I couldn't help but smile bitterly. You thought right. I was the one who withdrew from the circle with him when it was exposed that he was in a relationship. He had heard of Haruka Shimonishi, but he didn't know who he was with. Like you in the past, an idol boy group that relied on your face to eat. He naturally wouldn't pay attention. He was a little suspicious now. Whether you wrote those 2 songs, you didn't give him time to think too much. When I saw him facing the struggle, he continued to say, is it difficult to let him join your company? If it's really difficult, I'll find a way, and my request is not only to let him join your company. I also want him to join your company. You must have the best resources and freedom. The contract cannot be stuck. In the final analysis, it is still a matter of interests. I believe that with my help, it will go to a higher level. I still hope you can think carefully. You can finish it in one breath. Duanqi took a sip of water calmly. Yang Chenlin's expression was solemn. Obviously a little embarrassed, he said. In the end, we didn't cooperate. Just the 2 songs you released don't have such great value. I approve of Haruka Shimonishi's singing skills, but the entertainment industry pays attention to more than just singing skills. I believe you know that it is not difficult to make him pay, but the top resources you want, contract freedom, we basically have not involved this kind of thing. Let us discuss this matter carefully. This is not a trivial matter, although Yang Chenglin did not explicitly refuse, but his words revealed that this is basically a refusal you can discuss. I also express my attitude here, not only the problems you encounter this time, but also what you need in the future. Even the script, no matter what genre, as long as you speak, I can give it to you, and I still hope that we can successfully work together.